Yep. First off, got to give all the credit in the world to Coach Dooley and his Prairie View A&M team. I thought they came out ready to play. I thought he had his guys ready. I think they're an awfully talented football team, and I thought they lined up and they fought really friggin' hard from the opening snap to the friggin' scoreboard said 0-0-0. So all the credit in the world to him and his staff and his players. For us, good to get a W. Good to find a way. Good to do the things that we talk about and have a total team win. When you look out there and you have times where the offense is really going down the field and scoring and holding the ball the way we want, and defense is struggling a little bit. Then you come to the second half where we weren't really able to get a first down offensively, and then our defense was getting off the field. Then our defense in that fourth quarter stepping up with the big turnover and holding them to -4 total yards, I believe, in the fourth quarter. And the shining star of our day was special teams and Jack Fox with, I believe it was 4 kicks inside the 10-yard line, including the game-winning field goal. I guess the only knock I got against him right now is he didn't complete his pass attempt. So he's not a Heisman candidate, but he sure is a Ray Guy candidate, and anything else to do with his leg. But sure glad we had him. I stick by my statement that he is a stud. And I will tell you again that I'm really glad that our culture showed through tonight, and our guys fought forever. We found a way to win this game, and there's a lot of things to correct. The thing I told them at the end just now is that the best teams I've been a part of have had their biggest jumps, the biggest gains as a football team between game 1 and game 2, and we sure better do it between now and next Saturday. I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, resilience would be the word that would span second half, making adjustments and changes.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magic pill or anything we did as coaches. I think it was our guys continuing to fight. The thing that I expressed to them at halftime is, guys, you don't see any panic on my face. We're going to trust our training. This is what we trained for. This is what our culture's all about. Let's go play. And so proud of the way they did.
Mike, in the second quarter, what were the breakdowns defensively, and then what were you guys able to correct down the stretch there?
Yeah, the breakdowns defensively was they had a dude that had an S on his chest that kept making play after play. Number 11, my hat's off to him too. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And, they were getting the ball pushed before we could get to the quarterback. And that was something that changed as the game went on. I thought the rush intensified. I thought were able to throw enough guys at him up front to put some pressure and ultimately get the turnover, force him into the turnover, which was huge.
You talk about next week. What does this performance say about your team heading into that U of H game?
Yeah, I think it shows that grit. It shows that we are doing the things that we talk about. But again, I think we're going to watch this film and realize all the corrections we have to make and all the growth we have to make to come out victorious next week.
Mike, given your history and what you guys did stand for, I can't imagine anybody was surprised to see you guys come out 2 tight side formation to start, and obviously a lot of that throughout the night. Is that embody what you guys are going to be offensively in this program?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from day one, we've talked about pound the rock, control the clock, and play great defense. And there were times tonight where we were able to do all 3. We just didn't do them at the same time very often. And but you look at what we did. We held the ball for 40 minutes, and that's something that helps our defense in controlling the clock. And we've got to end up in the end zone. We had those first 2 drives end up in the end zone, and the 3rd and 4th drive were self-inflicted wounds that kept us out. Missing a layup on a throw and then having a penalty, and those things kill you.
You mentioned the culture a few times. Did you feel it even when that 3rd quarter you guys were up against a little bit and they were feeling their culture? And
I hope so. I'd rather you ask the kids because, again, I was calm on the sideline. I believed that I just needed us to play better, and I knew some of the things we were tightening up and trying to work through schematically, but I was in a good place. I just believe in what we're doing and the way we're doing it, and I believe in these guys, and I knew they were going to keep fighting.
Mike, you had 310 yards rushing. What did you like from your running backs and offensive line?
I like that they made it physical, and I don't think anybody on offense right now is playing at a consistent enough level, and I think that's what we're going to see when we watch the film. I love that Soup ended up with 173 yards. I think that's a good night. I don't think it's a great night for him. I don't think that we're seeing the best we're going to see of Soup. So it's a special night. It's cool, but we're going to be better.
Can you walk us through what was going through your mind on 4th and 1, getting that last yard? That's kind of the embodiment of what you're preaching, that physicality.
That's exactly what it was in the huddle. I was on the headset with Coach Mack, and I said, Coach Mack, what you think? Because it's a point in the game where it would be a very different conversation right now if we hadn't got it. And, you know, he said, I think we go for it. And, you know, I said, it's who we are. And our kids knew it. I don't know if our kids, any of them had a doubt if we were going for that or not. And I looked at Soup in the huddle and I said, dude, I don't care if we block nobody. You got to get this. He said, I got it, Coach. So that's the trust we have right now.
About to have the obligatory first game question for you. Was it a different kind of jitters than you expected?
I want to be honest with you. So yeah, it hit me a couple times today. I told the guys in our meeting at the hotel, it was like we're 2 hours and 50 minutes before kick, and I'm juiced. And I don't want to peak too soon, man. I'm going to try to calm myself down. I'm going to get away from y'all so I don't mess y'all up. But yeah, I was excited. I wish I could have hit somebody today the way they got to. That's not fair that I don't get to do that.
What went into the decision to keep Sean in the game in the second half?
He was more productive. His 2 drives in the first half ended in touchdowns. He had a 2-minute drive, was his only other drive in the first half as we went in there, and that thing didn't really get started the way any of us wanted. So it's hard to evaluate him on that. And, just went with a feel. And sometimes that's what you do. There wasn't any one thing Jackson did, or to be honest, there wasn't any one thing that Stank did really well that kept him in the game. It's just where I was at that time and the decision I made.
Can you talk a little bit about your takeaways of the secondary, particularly the corners tonight?
I think it was a tall task, and again, I think that they kept fighting, they kept trying to cover, but we'll watch the film before we comment too deeply on those corners.
You mentioned 11 Wallace. I guess what was your impressions, takeaways of him? Obviously, he had a good night for them.
He had a big night. Sure did. He's a good player. I saw him in pregame and was trying to figure out what position he was going to play. And when they told me it was definitely receiver, I was like, okay, good.
How did you feel about what you saw from your quarterbacks today?
Again, I think that both of them did some really good things. I'm going to reserve judgment until we watch this film and have a chance to process it as a coaching staff and talk to these guys about it before I comment too deeply. But, once again, both of them at times did some really good things. I thought on those first 2 drives, Sean did an amazing job keeping drives alive with his legs, making a few plays. But there's some throws that we need him to make, and it goes back to what I said about all of our offense. We need more consistency. And it's always going to be the case at that position, right? The quarterback and the head coach are always going to get too much credit and too much blame. And that's the way it goes. But we're looking for consistency at every position on offense right now, and we're going to tighten our belts and see if we can't find it this week.
Is there any one position in particular that you thought throughout the game showed to be the most consistent?
Jack Fox. Yeah, where's Jack? Is Jack in here? Where's Jack Fox?
Coach, obviously that final drive, you guys had to convert that big 3rd down just outside field goal range, your ground game. What was kind of going through the talk on the sidelines, and obviously the goals were a big play.
Yeah. So again, just to give you a little backstory, we've got Soup cramping, we've got Austin Walters that was cramping. So Aston steps in a huge moment in the game, and none of us had any doubts. We called a play that we should call in that situation, and Aston made it go. And so that's really exciting. That's really fun. I couldn't be happier for him to get that result tonight. And again, nobody was worried that Aston was in the game, and we trust him completely.
What does the fourth quarter comeback say about your team?
I think it talks about everything that we've talked about since day one. I think it talks about the culture. I think it talks about the grit. I think it talks about Coach Hans Straub off-season program at 6 a.m. every morning in the summer. I think it talks about who this team is working to become every day, every way, every play.
You mentioned that you were pretty calm throughout, but what were your emotions like once that ball went to the upright?
I'm always going to celebrate wins. So I make no apologies for celebrating wins. There were a couple times I got emotional when the turnover happened on defense, when we had the big run with Aston, when Jack had a couple of those punts to really pin him deep. Those are big plays that shift the game, and you could feel it.
Coach, a Rice football coach has not won his opening game since 1989. How does it make you feel to know that you were able to break through in that area?
It's awesome. I mean, that's why we all do this, is to win. But again, it's so not about me. It's about our staff. It's about our players. It's about our administration, everything that's making this place great. But I'm glad I get to stand up here and have that number thrown at me. We'll try to win a few more, too.
Is it, you consider it an advantage or a disadvantage? You don't have the in-game film on U of H, but they also haven't gotten their first hits of the year, do you view that as an advantage or a disadvantage for the Unions?
Yeah, I think somebody could paint it either way. I think we're glad that we got a chance to play this game and get some of the slop off, some of the self-inflicted wounds hopefully out of our system. We'll have so much to learn from, and again, I really believe what I told you. I think the biggest jumps come between game 1 and game 2, and we need to take a big one.
I'll bring Sean up here.